If you're autistic or have any interest in autistic life, then you'll more than likely have heard of Spectrum 10K, a research programme which has been the source of significant distress to many of us recently. If you haven't heard about it yet, then take a look at the video linked on screen now for a bit more background. In response to this controversy, the team behind the project issued a statement a few days ago announcing a pause for consultation. Whilst the overwhelming majority of autistic people and our allies have expressed a public opinion have been dismayed at the project, a small number of interested parties, some who say they're autistic themselves, have taken an opposing view. They claim that genetic research like this is essential and believe it can improve everyday life for us all. The last time we talked about Spectrum 10K, we asked if the current social climate and attitudes towards autistic people were suitable for this research to go ahead. One of the points we raised concerned the complex and highly subjective nature of current diagnostic procedures and the misdiagnoses and long waiting lists they've led to. Some of our contrarian friends have jumped on this as a gotcha moment. In replies to social media posts, in private messages and even in the comments pages here on YouTube, they tell us that this research will yield a definitive genetic test for autism to replace the current diagnostic process. To some of them, this is a very attractive idea, since they've convinced themselves that autistic people who think differently to them can be discounted because they're self-diagnosed, are lying about being diagnosed, or were assessed by a new breed of professional who hands out diagnoses like candy. Some have spoken of hopes for new precision-targeted drug treatments to fix problem genes, whilst preserving those with benefits. It's all well and good to theorise about what might be possible, but currently those theories are more to science fiction than to reality. When the doctors in Star Trek find a miracle cure to a mysterious alien virus, they already have a comprehensive map of the average human genome conveniently stored on their tricorders. In the present day, we don't have that map yet because we're still drawing up its first draft using a prick it and see if it bleeds approach. There is huge potential in genetic research, just as there is in artificial intelligence. But both are in their formative stages where not even the ethical and philosophical consequences of mistakes can be agreed upon, let alone the mechanisms needed to prevent real-world catastrophe. If we're to manipulate genes accurately and without doing unintentional harm, we need to know what those genes are, and we can't find them unless we know what we're looking for. Humankind has been manipulating the genes of living things since the invention of farming. Long before Gregor Mendel's experiments demonstrated heredity within pea plants in the 1860s, we had been crudely shaping the genes of other species to fit our needs. Almost everything we eat, animal or vegetable, is the culmination of thousands of years of slapdash genetic engineering through crossbreeding. From grains with higher yields and cattle that produce creamier milk to dogs that fit in rich girls' handbags, we've been smashing genes together in the hope of a useful and viable result since the dawn of civilization. It's been nearly 70 years since Watson and Crick first identified the double helix, and our news media love encouraging reports of gene therapy succeeding. We know way more about DNA and the genes within it than we did even 10 years ago, let alone 70 or 1,000, and that knowledge grows day by day. So why would anybody want to stand in the way of such progress? The answer is simple. It's not genetic research itself that has raised concerns. It's the specific scientists involved and their track history of misrepresenting autism that rings alarm bells on many different levels. Nobody can legitimately identify the genes that cause autism if we don't agree on what autism actually is. If we go looking for the wrong thing, we risk doing unimaginable harm. The scientists of Spectrum 10K hope to be pioneers like the Christopher Columbus who discovered America, whilst glossing over the risk of being more like the Christopher Columbus who landed in the Caribbean and thought he was in India. To the autist, our contrasts to the neurotypical model are in how we sense and understand the world, the way we communicate with others, and how we process information and logic. Most of us experience difficulties in life, not because we popped out of the womb as autistic, but because everyday people are very poor at coping with change and unfamiliarity. The current crop of academics judge autism based on challenging behaviours. They decide whether we're autistic or not based on the reactions and opinions of others more than the thoughts or intent behind them. To them, autism is a dilemma they could solve. They operate on the assumption that their work is welcome, even necessary, because by their definition, to be autistic is to suffer. Even one of the leaders of the project has told us previously that people who may be autistic but don't suffer serious life-limiting consequences as a result shouldn't bother seeking diagnosis. Their definition is subjective and blinkered, though. We know without doubt that the majority of autistic adults alive right now don't know they're autistic. They've muddled through life by hiding their true selves, play acting to fit in, and enduring the consequences quietly and unseen. Our cultures celebrate strength and punish weakness, so we've learned to hide our difficulties and only show the world what it wants to see. There are others of us for whom being autistic has never been a problem because we were brought up and continue to live in supportive environments. When autists are accepted for who we are and not manipulated into trying to fit into somebody else's view of normal, we don't suffer anywhere near the level of fear, anxiety or depression as others do. When we succeed in making careers for ourselves as specialists that suit our strengths, we're just seen as eccentric. Wealth plays a role too. Autists who never have to worry about money or a roof over their heads don't have to live with the same day-to-day struggle of hiding in the shadows, hoping we don't get exposed by a bully or a gossiping colleague. Still more of us have found happiness as adults in relationships with people who either share our differences or celebrate them as positives. When we have somebody backing us up and willing to listen, helping us make sense of the crazy non-autistic world we live in, it dampens many of the stresses that cause our confusion and distress. Even just having friends who face the same pressures we do every day provides a measure of kinship and shared experience that can cushion us from some of the blows. Time and again, the evidence has shown that the key to fixing the behaviours so beloved of the current crop of non-autistic researchers lies not in our genes, but in the prevailing attitudes towards autistic people. Autists who are treated with respect, kindness and accommodation for their needs have far better lives and outcomes than those who are continually submerged in a sea of derision, pity and scientific ignorance. It's simply not possible to distinguish good autism genes from bad when the current academic view is so biased towards deficit. What to one autist may be a painful, life-limiting sensitivity to sound may be the secret behind another's prodigious musical talent, acting skill, linguistic ability or engineering achievement. My own autistic need to tell the truth was considered challenging behaviour in my school days. I've got examples of our honesty being described as a fine example of our company's commitment to transparency on one occasion, and gross misconduct and disloyalty on another by the same employer. The autistic view of autism from the inside and the researchers' deficit-laden view from outside looking in are at odds with one another. The scientists say the behaviours are the problem, whilst the autistic community and the non-autistic people who care about us say that those behaviours are reactions to being repeatedly misunderstood, mistreated and ignored. At the moment, the genes Spectrum 10K and other studies are searching for are those which they can correlate to their flawed understanding of what autism is. They see only the socially challenging behaviour and not the ever-shifting context which may make today's bad behaviour tomorrow's essential skill set. The scattergun genetic technique of crossbreeding gave us popular breeds of cute miniature dogs that can't breathe properly or give birth naturally. Genetic engineering has yet to find a way to breed an apple that can grow into a specific variety without the need to splice cuttings of the original tree onto a hardier species. Yet some people seem to think we're already at a point where we can safely turn human personality traits on and off without harmful consequences. Last time I spoke about Spectrum 10K, I said that this was not the time for DNA research into autism because the social conditions we live in and the public attitudes towards autism are too negative. I say now that the time isn't right because the science is immature and the scientists behind it don't yet have an accurate picture of what they should be looking for. We will be watching the development of the consultation over Spectrum 10K very closely, and whether invited to contribute or not, autistic voices will be heard. Thank you for watching. If you have concerns about Spectrum 10K or the direction of autism research in general, then please leave a comment below, and don't forget to leave this video a like, subscribe to see more, and if you really like the channel, you can support us on Patreon or treat yourself to some exclusive Autismatic merch.